Hello, lovely Gem fam, the best friends club as I always call you guys because the Gemini faction in my life is quite strong, as you all know. And I'm really intrigued to talk with you all today because Virgo season has a really interesting relationship to you Geminis. You guys share a ruler, Mercury. And so the relationship that you two share is a really interesting one, I think, because you're both mutable signs. You're both about shifting, transitioning, moving, making things happen. And I was realizing that this Virgo season, this September, there's a lot of directional energy. There's a lot of focused intent energy. There's a lot of simplicity and pristine clarity to the astrology for the month, to the energy for the month. And I think for you, because it's this sign that's so deeply connected to you, because you share a ruler, it's this space where you get a bit of a mirror. And the note that came through for me is that it's time to get cozy. Gemini season for you is like Virgo season for you is fourth house energy, which is the internal space, home space. And then we move into your fifth house of Libra at the end of the month, which is about your heart. These are such supportive houses. These are such supportive energies for you to get crystal clear messages. There's been a big Four of Cups already came out as I'm starting to shuffle here. There's been a lot of the last 3 months, June, July, August, we were all getting shuffled up. And different converging storylines, issues, stresses, fears, worries, hopes, dreams were showing up. Two of Wands, very nice. And there were a lot of muddled messages, I think, coming in for gems for a little while there. September is the first time we're going to get some of the clearer messaging for you. And Six of Swords, that's been a vibe for gems. This whole shifting traveler vibe has been coming up for you guys a lot over the last few months. This transformational thing, like a whole series of shifts coming in for you. But this month there's going to be clear messaging. Knight of Cups. Very nice. So one thing I would say, gems, one of the notes that's coming up, you're getting the messages you need this month. It's up to you to listen to them or not. Mercury is going into Virgo on September 5th, right? So your ruling planet's going to be in a cozy space on the other sign that shares that ruler with you, and that's going to be really nice. Then the next day on the 6th, we have Saturn going direct in Capricorn. Then we have this new moon in Virgo in your fourth house, which is such a time where you have to listen in, right? We don't have the visual cues. It's quiet, it's dark. Therefore, we're getting the infusion of information. Hermit. Virgo season is strong. It is very quietly strong. I think, the flamboyance of like Gemini, Cancer, Leo season is met with the clarity and the crispness and the delivery of Virgo season, which is all about, okay, we've had all these ideas, we've been out in the ether, and now what are we going to do about it? And that has how Mercury gets expressed. Five of Wands. Mercury gets expressed in Virgo. In the doing, in the creation, in the getting down to business in some ways. And there is a delivery there. Delivery of messages, a delivery of meaning, a delivery of intent, and you have to listen carefully, gems, because there are things that are going to be tugging at you. We have an Aries full moon at the end of the month, and that's your 11th house, your community, the people around you. It's going to be illuminating what is working for you and what is not. And even as I'm sitting here, I have my little note about the clear messages, but now that I'm sitting here and my deck is doing crazy things, sorry you guys. Okay, 10 of Wands. Now that I'm sitting here feeling through it, it's like there is something, I don't know if you've been in denial about something or you haven't wanted to face up to something or something hasn't felt clear. Timing is important. Sometimes we need to go through a whole series, a whole progression of energies before we can be ready to make a change or have the conversation or get the information that we've needed. And I have that feeling that it hasn't been quite time to get the information you've needed, but now it is. Now it is time. And the Strength card. Okay, let's start with these 8 that I pulled, because there's a lot going on here. Oh, also, your ruling planet is going into Libra on the 21st, which will be really nice for you. That's 5th house energy. You're going to have a lot of ease and flow in communication and your natural style when it comes to creativity and romance. So that's great. And then we have Pluto going direct as well at the end of the month. That'll be really nice. We've had a long retrograde there. There's a lot of directional energy, and we really are setting up for an interesting October, but we're not going to talk about that yet. Okay. There's something going on here with you guys maybe having been in denial about something, how it's impacting you, how it's taking your energy, how it's sucking some of your juice away. It's sucking you dry a little bit. There's something about that, because you look at these cards, right? Like these first 3 especially, there's something telling going on here. Like extremely telling to me. It's like you guys have been floating around in the idea of things, which I know you're very good at. So you're brilliant. You've been floating around in the idea of something, maybe a couple things, and you have been avoiding facing what you already know at an intuitive level. So what's interesting is the beginning of this month, I think you are going to get a big influx of that kind of physically knowing, when your body gives you messages and it says, that doesn't feel good, that doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel like it should be this way. Listen to that. Listen to what your body is telling you, especially about your intimate spaces, your internal spaces, your spaces that you don't share with the general public when you guys are in performers mode. Because Geminis, I know you guys, you're great at performing, you're great at holding people together, performing for the crowd, bringing the energy up, and then inside you have a completely different scenario going on. You're hurting, or you're thinking about something, or you're having an intuitive moment. And that is what the 4 of Cups, the 2 of Wands, and the 6 of Swords is telling me. Because it's telling me there's a slowdown. There's a deliberate energetic slowdown here for you. And not like a retrograde slowdown, but like just that kind of reflective energy where you just feel like going for a long walk, or just sitting by yourself somewhere in a peaceful space and feeling this out, or whatever it is that you do that helps you to think clearly. There's something like you almost want it, because there's something that needs to shift. That there's a bigger horizon, and that you really have to address it. It's something you've been thinking, maybe the timing isn't right, and maybe it hasn't been right to make this shift, to make this transition. I mean, to me, this is about moving. This is about making changes, possibly in your home scenario, because we have so much energy in Virgo at the beginning of the month. This is the 2 of Wands and 6 of Swords is about being willing to look beyond what is into the unknown, and to have a little bit of faith. You've got to make a big change, and it's not going to leave you alone. And you guys have been going through, once again, we've talked about the last 3 or 4 months since your birthday season. It has been this pushing at you to make changes, this pushing at you to overturn what has been maybe for the last 2 or 3 years. And it's been pretty relentless, and at times feels a little bit destructive, a little bit wild, a little bit untamed. And honestly, for your intellectual mind, that has been a real struggle for you to trust the process and to trust the outcome, because you want, you have the ability to think of things and come up with the itinerary, come up with the plan, put it out there. But there's been this kind of journey for you in trust and faith. But now that we're in September though, this is where you actually embody the change. This is where you can't ignore it anymore. So this can show up as physical symptoms. This can show up as feelings that something is not quite right in your body, in your situation. And there's something that has to shift. And I think it's positive. Quite honestly, I think it's positive. Those are not negative cards. They're not scary cards. But what those cards are is getting very synced up with this bigger picture that is meant for you and that you've been resisting, Well, it is coming to find you. And I mean, quite honestly, Knight of Cups is the outcome, right? You get into trust mode. You get into this mentality of, okay, yeah, I am going to start making these changes because I know that it's what I want. I am going to start honoring my intuition. I'm not going to push it away to the back burner until I can deal with it. And once you do that trust, you are met immediately, my beautiful gems, with the romance, with the offering up of something that is close to your heart. That is what Knight of Cups is all about. Yes, this is like poetry and romance and beauty. And I think the first half of the month is going to be you checking in, taking stock. Like I said, Virgo season for you is a very mirroring time. There is a lot of mirroring action where you are kind of forced to sit and look at yourself from a different vantage point. And because we have forward moving energy now, and we are out of eclipse season, we are out of the major part of retrograde season, we are now really having to take some action. So after that new moon in Virgo, and once we start getting into Libra season, once we start getting into that flow for you, that fifth house energy, that is where you're going to be seeing that you can actually take steps forward. So be a little patient with yourself the first half of the month. I feel like I say that a lot, but a lot of times, you know, the waning energy of the moon into the new moon is a time for self-reflection and integration. And then the waxing moon, the second half of the month, generally speaking, at least right now, the way the moons are cycling, we are building up energy and we are making big changes and we are shifting, right? So that's a lot of what the energy is doing, and we're going from a moon that is very much about your internal private, the new moon, into the Aries full moon near the end of the month, which is all about your external social circle. So you can see how there's like a travel into the secret depths of Gemini, which you guys have a big, deep well. Maybe people don't realize that about Geminis, that you guys, you have a whole other world going on inside of yourself, like that isn't the showstopper, and that feels things very deeply, and that is very intuitive and very wise about these things, and you are having a little moment here where you're going to be sitting with that part of yourself. Okay, let's look at these second four cards for this waxing energy that will be coming up as we build toward the Aries full moon, as we build into Libra season. We have a lot of fire energy working with you. So we have the Hermit, the Five of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Strength card. And that's a really interesting lineup because what I'm seeing here is tensions getting worked through and that having to be done. And there needing to be things that need to be addressed. There is something going on here. So first and foremost, the Hermit and the Strength card are really interesting to be balancing out those Wands cards right in the middle. Because I will tell you one thing about these two cards. Yes, they represent Leo and Virgo. So if you're dealing with a Leo or Virgo in your life, yes, maybe they are playing roles here for you as far as how you are moving forward. They could be helpful allies. However, what this is telling me, and this is a very, very strong message, these two energies are all about taking the time to parse through things and not making sudden movements. These are both spiritually attuned energies that are about, it's not patience. Patience isn't the right way to put it, because patience it suggests that there's something that you're waiting on, right? You have to be patient, so you're waiting. These energies are just centered. They take their time. They listen in. They pay attention to how somebody is talking to us. They pay attention to how a situation makes us feel. And they take the information, they log it, and when the time is right, they take action that is appropriate and completely on point and completely crisp and clear and definitive in a direction that is beneficial to your soul. And I think that is absolutely what is going on here. There is something going on with you guys. Rather than caring about how you feel, rather than caring about the fact that you don't feel 100% great about something, you have been favoring other people. You have been favoring what other people need. And maybe even just doing it, out of a sense that that's where your value lies. These two energies right here are telling me a completely different tack that Gemini has to take this September. It is about getting down to business in Virgo season. And the reason I'm saying that is look at this in the middle, my loves. 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands. You have tensions around you and you are holding burdens that are slowing you down and weighing you down and making you feel empty and stuck and heavy and tired. And these two right here tell me there is something that must be resolved. There is tension that must be resolved. There are things that need to be left behind. And this does not have to be huge. It doesn't have to be about quitting a job or like breaking up with somebody. It can be. Some of you may really feel that. You may really feel very clear about where you're willing to deal with something. And some of you are going to be on that end of the scale. Some of you are going to be on the end of the scale where you need to really sit down and you need to have words with somebody. Or where you need to cut back on your hours, or where you need to really reassess where you're putting your energy. Is it always worth it to have to fight through this way? No. Is it always worth it to carry everybody's load on your shoulders? No. Pick your battles wisely, Geminis. Pick your battles wisely. Do not pick up anything extra this month. Do not pick up anybody else's crap this month. Do not pick up anybody else's heaviness, because people want to put things on you. They want to make it your fault. They want to tell you you're a troublemaker and that you're a manipulator. Anybody telling you something like that this month, they have to just don't give them that audience. That's unacceptable behavior on their part if they're saying things like that to you. Like, it's weird. As I'm sitting here with your cards, I'm going to pull a final card here, I think, just to give us an overarching sense of what's going on. 2 cards came out, 9 of Pentacles and Death. You guys get the Death card a lot. We've talked about you and this interesting connection you have with the Scorpionic energy. I mean, it's interesting that these are the final 2 cards, because when I started this reading, I said something has to shift. There's something in your intuition, your physical body that is telling you something needs to change. It's going to continue to harp at you, and you're going to really be inspired, I think, to make changes. It's going to feel very supportive of you making those changes, but here it is. In transformation comes abundance. Something has to transform in order for the abundance to come through. Something needs to be sloughed off in order for you to feel fulfilled again. If you're drained, if you're tired, if you feel stuck, that is because of something that you're not listening to. Yes, we are vibrational beings, and we do choose our mental state and our emotional state, right? We can choose to be happy. We can choose to push through things. We can choose to think positively about change. But there's another side to that too, which is we have to take action when something isn't lining up with who we really truly are. And there's something that is not lining up with who you really truly are, with your divine nature, with your happiest self, with your childlike, playful self. Because gems, when you're depressed, it is like the saddest thing in the world. It breaks my heart. I can't stand thinking about it. Like, it will just get me so upset when you guys are hurting, because I want to see gems when they are playful, when they are, childlike in your guys' enthusiasm for things. That's what I mean. That's when I know that my gems are doing well. Is when they feel light. They don't feel like this over here. It's like, look at all this rumination we have going on. We have so much internal thinking. We have so much tension on the surface. And I think it's important. I think these moments of clear shift are so important for our growth. And I think there's such a practical astrological energy, collective energy going on here. It can really serve you quite well to make shifts, make decisions, and slough off things that are not serving in a really efficient, easy way. It doesn't always have to be about big drama. In fact, like, these cards are kind of, they're deep, but they're not about big drama. They're not about burning things down to the ground. What they are about, though, is genuinely addressing the practical things that are not working for you. because you have to think about what makes you feel like childlike with curiosity, using that beautiful mercurial mind to ask fun questions and be excited about things, and what makes you feel like you are just burdened and tired and sad. And really pay attention to that. I mean, I would even recommend having a little journal where you note down, met with this person, and note down how you felt after. Or did this type of work, how did you feel right after? Did you feel tired? Did you feel energized? Did you feel confused? Did you feel a little bit wiped out? Did you feel foggy? Did you feel really crisp and clear? Did you feel like you had more ideas coming out from the interaction? Pay attention. Pay attention to those, my loves. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, because basically what this is saying, trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust the signals your body is giving you, absolutely, and be willing to take that step into transitioning to something new, and you will feel so much better. There's a lot of abundance on the other side, like almost immediately. We're looking at energy that will turn over very quickly within a day or two if you take that time to listen, right? So very immediate energy coming in here for you. I love you guys so much. You can follow me on Instagram at the Sarah Tarot. I would love for you to join me over there. We have so much fun talking about life and existence and how energies change. And it's not always about just being positive and lighthearted. Sometimes it's about the deeper journey. So I hope you join me over there. And you can also check out my website, SARAHTAROT.com, or email me at info@thesaratarot, or at SARAHTAROT.com. I'll leave all that info in the description box so you can check that out. I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous, gorgeous work. I'm wearing this aventurine slab right now, and I just love it. She always is changing up her store. She has such beautiful things on her Etsy shop. 15% off for my lovelies, so I'll leave that all in the description box below. I love you guys so much. I really do. You guys have helped me through so many times in my life. Legit have been the people who I called when things really have gone haywire in my life. So I just really appreciate your energy, and that's why I really care that you guys honor and respect yourselves. I'll see you in October for quite the ride I think October will be, and I just hope you have a beautiful September of self-care, self-love, nurturing, and intuitive guidance.